Okay, so initially when we began the course, I was asked to share a story about a teacher a good teacher experience that I had. And with that experience, I talked about a teacher who I thought was a good teacher because she was always prepared for her lessons and she was dedicated to her students' understanding of course material. And then and as of right now, I still think it's important for all those qualities are still very important. It's important for a good teacher to understand that it's not about the end product, has the student gotten the correct answer or not, and it is about the process of understanding. One of the experiences that I had with the course was when we did our summative task as a group, and then when we gave another group the summative task to do, and then when they had a difficult time doing the questions, and then when we were grading it, we noticed that the grades weren't that great, so we decided as a group that we'd be giving it back to them so that they can redo the questions that they made mistakes on, so that they have a better understanding, and after they knew what we were kind of expecting from them, and then we regraded it and gave them some extra marks, because what was important to us was that they were successful and that they did understand what they were being asked and what the material was, rather than whether or not they just had the right answer or not in the end. So that was something that I thought it really helped me see that what's really important from a teacher, and what we should expect from students, and what we're really looking for when we are teaching these students. So there were many aspects in the course that I plan to take back with me to my classroom, because I felt that they were really great practices for a good teacher. Some of these important techniques included building criteria with students, and the discussion-based learning, which was a huge part of our course. Discussions that we had throughout our classes were beneficial for so many reasons and allowed for collaboration amongst us as students. And in one of the readings that we had to complete, that we had to read for the class, called Making the Most of Mathematical Discussions, they talked about the shared and collaborative discussion strategies and how they allow students to interact and learn from one another rather than always being directed by a teacher. I completely agree with this idea, and I definitely would not have imagined how much discussion we could really have in a math course until I really took, until we went through this entire course. I thoroughly enjoyed sharing practicum experiences, as well as working together with group members to solve problems that we were given to solve during the class, because I think that it allowed for us to be able to solve the problems, but also see it from a different perspective and see the different ways in which we are able to solve the problem. We were able to share our ideas, which was great. We were actually learning through one another, which was pretty awesome. And a teacher that is capable of this type of teaching with discussions within her classroom that allows for deeper understanding for the student, as well as keeping them engaged, I think would make a really great teacher. And as for the bad teacher experience, I had spoken about, I still agree with what I had stated about the bad teacher, where he was just completely reading everything off lecture slides. And now even more, I would say, it's definitely not the right way of teaching, and it's not the best way to gain students' understanding, especially in a math course. And teachers should be engaged with their students and be able to help them and support them when they're stuck or having trouble. And allowing for discussions within the classroom can definitely help with that as well. So those would be my examples of what I would think a good teacher is and a bad teacher is. And I thoroughly enjoyed this course and learned a lot from it.